Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Bottom left-hand corner, we have Gypsy starting as the red Terran with a fantastic split right there. Upper left-hand corner, we got Crossie starting as the blue Zerg. Overlord is heading to the bottom left-hand corner first, so Crossie will have that. So one thing that can, on a 4-player map in particular, that can be really challenging for Zerg is not having that Overlord in position. Although I will say, this is on Polypoid by the way, for the front door seal, it usually goes depot racks, and so the racks from this position will be on the bottom, so it might be a little bit of a... So Gypsy might have an opportunity to hide Marines. I don't know if that'll necessarily be the case here. Trying to think actually what Terran would get out of that actually, but I digress. If you guys caught game 1, you saw what I was previously talking about, where Crossie, his multitasking is incredible, his micromanagement's incredible, he is an extremely decisive player, and his execution is phenomenal, and really... I think out of all of that, he just does a very good job of creating chaos, directed chaos, at various stages of the game. And that tends to be the big frustration for Terran players world round. Anyway, looks like we have a supply depot being plopped down on the front door. I presume... Okay, there might be an opportunity for a 14 command center out of Gypsy, which, considering the build order game 1, I wouldn't completely preclude. But never mind, looks like we are going to see a barracks on the front door. We'll see if it's going to be one Marine into expansion. In the meantime, it looks like Crossie is in fact going to go for an 11 hatchery in the upper left-hand corner. So at least to the start, a little bit more of a standard game. Gypsy going to go ahead, and the question as well is where does... So Gypsy going to scout. It looks like he's going to go for cross position scouting here initially. And the Overlord is going to go be able to sidle in position. The other advantage is actually of having this Overlord come. So not only do you not need to send out an additional scouting drone, which is very, very beneficial, or you can draw it back. It looks like that scouting drone is going to snake its way across. Actually, is he going to try to shoot the gap? No, he's just going to make his way around that doodad. But the other benefit, although it didn't pay off for him right this second, is the Overlord doesn't get spotted when that happens as well. And also, I don't know if Terran ever take advantage of this. I'm trying to think what the advantage would be. Maybe if you're going for trying to convey that you went for 5 racks play instead of something else, but there's also an opportunity to hide Marines down to the bottom corner here based on the front door seal. I don't know if Gypsy's going to utilize that or not. I feel like the more information denial, the better. I believe this was a fast gas. We got a spawning pool behind this. Fortunately, I'm not so skilled where I can be like, well, there's 30. This is the thing. Terran players do get to this stage where they'll click on it, be like, okay, the geyser's got this much missing gas. Here's the time, minus 24 seconds. We know it was around 207. It looks like the layer is dropping around 254, 253 is where I saw it. So this is going to be 2 hatch muted to start, and a pretty fast, pretty quick layer. As well. Drones just now cycling out to the natural expansion, a little bit of saturation happening there. We do have the full front door seal, and it looks like it was indeed command center before initial Marine. Second barracks plopped, and it looks like that second barracks before gas as well as academy. And we'll see if this turns into, I presume this is going to be 2 barracks academy and then pressure towards the natural expansion from there. Zerglings losing track. Only 2 Zerglings created, by the way, but losing track. And this is where there is a small gap that Crossie could potentially try to shoot here on Polypoid. I don't know that he's going to go for it. The Marine's currently waiting along edge. But this is the other bit, is let's see if Gypsy actually takes the the Marines that are built out of his secondary barracks and actually fields them. It looks like he is fielding them within Overlord vision, and that barracks, at least that barracks, can be spotted, creating initial Marines. I actually think... The other thought I have is the meta has shifted since more to 2 racks play, where it's a little bit harder to... I mean, previously when it was like 1 racks into 5 racks quite often, but the academy, by the way, just about finished here in that back corner. Back when it was 1 racks before 5 racks, oftentimes it was really, really important to keep an eye on whether that barracks was glowing or not, because it could kind of give you an idea. SCV's still doing a little bit of jukes, a couple additional Zerglings out, and at least these 6 Zerglings are going to be overall spotted. Crossie doesn't want Gypsy to scout the 3rd hatchery location, that top right hand corner. Already a handful of Marines out, 2 medics are queued up. And we'll see if he... I think he's going to go for a press towards the front. Cross does have that drone alongside. The Zerglings are streaming their way down, maybe to go for a backstab to try to push these back. Crossie with that Overlord positioning, seeing everything come across. Oh, might be a medic pickoff. The medic trying to hold the line, but not able to. 2 fire bats are out, and it looks like Gypsy's going to go with the fire. So looks like Gypsy's like, okay, just go ahead. I think my fire bats can take care of it. That will keep you busy, because fire bats perform very, very well against Zerglings, particularly when they're in packs. In the meantime, pressing that natural expansion to try to force the double sunken colony out. 1 sunken colony is down, and it looks like we are going to have an evolution chamber in front by additional little bit of time. 1 Marine losing his life with that double shot, and so gonna turn around. Looks like the Zergling's getting cleaned up. A little bit of harassment there in the natural expansion, enough to make Gypsy nervous here. Is he going to get another SCV? He's able to get at least 2 SCVs for that, but the Marine count still remains sizable. Gypsy actually turning and recognizing this is, I'm not sure if this is just a flat out guess or not, or he just wants to check it. He's going for range. He's got +1 weapons. He's trying to hunt that additional expansion while the Mutalisks are out. And Crossie has to engage this here, because his base is in that upper right hand corner, so he needs to. And so the initial Mutalisks floating out here, an early stim there from Gypsy, but this is also a little bit dangerous for Gypsy, so Crossie has to engage this Medic Marine Ball, is what I'm trying to say, to keep them from going top right, for assaulting that hatchery. This also relieves some pressure on the front for Gypsy, but this Medic Marine Force is most certainly dead as a result. Ooh, second, I'm not sure why that Mutalist pulled off so early, but taking a lot of damage there. +1 weapons, by the way, upgrading, and more Mutalisks being created in the space of this. And I think Crossie might pounce down on this, recognizing, okay, I took a big grouping of Medic Marines down upper right. So that's 2 medics, a lot of Marines down. So let's just go ahead and maybe build a few additional, but look at this. I don't know if Crossie caught this in the midst of that. 2 fire bats has also snuck at the top right. The more that you can stymie the Zerg's gas supply, the better. And that also might be the sufficient detraction. So we already have 3 very respectable 3 turrets. Another turret there to the front, and a factory behind this, interestingly enough, with the 3rd barracks overall. And I think this is gonna, so the fire bats have made it top right. For some reason, I'm having trouble capturing on this. 1 drone already down. A little bit of mismicro that the 2nd fire bat hasn't joined, but that gas is disrupted. A single Mutalisk is peeled off. It looks like it's gonna be the damaged Mutalisk, which is a good play. Yet another drone going to get eliminated. The more you can get this sort of gas delay, though, the more that slows down. It's really a timing of seconds to get that the race to Defiler, and that can open up the entire game. And another drone goes down. Mutals finally finds that fire bat. The rest of the Mutals have returned. So on top of that, Gypsy, Crossie's Mutals micro is fantastic and very, very scary, and he hasn't even had to worry about it because of these fire bats sneak out in the field. Now you have such a large grouping of Medic Marines out in the front that he's got to feel very, very secure. I'm wondering if it's become more standard. I think this is going to be science. I don't think I've seen an armory down anywhere yet, so I think this is going to be into science vessels here. Never mind, there's the armory. I wonder if this has just become standard Terran stuff, and I'm just now getting wind of it. But I think this is, yeah, going to be Valkyrie to start. My understanding of the Valkyrie meta up to this stage is it is somewhat of a risk, which is you kind of get a big Medic Marine Ball, you get optimally 2 or 3, usually 3 Valkyries, I think is what you're really hoping for. I think this is also Gypsy kind of nodding some respect to Crossie. We'll see if Crossie recognizes the play and is able, also I like the positioning of it, kind of hidden in that corner. And look at the Mutal Micro thus far. Just already took a turret down, already got, ooh, actually, as I say that, he had a big pile of damage right there and has peeled one off. Handful of drones not active, but we are making our way towards Hive. Lurker Tech also on the way, so I'm not going to skip Lurker Tech altogether. Though I think he might have been able to get away with it. Might have been a disaster in this instance, though. But the initial Valkyrie is at least queued up here. And what the Valkyries do is you really need to get some value out of it, in my opinion, because you're slowing down the science vessels, and it's the science vessels that really buy you a lot of control, in particular against the Defiler play, and it also gives you that vision versus lurkers. So now Gypsy in the red briefly with that 2nd supply depot getting picked off. A heavy Mutalist dedication here for Crossie, so that's definitely going to slow down the Defiler tech, dropping an evolution chamber to get that +1 weapons in a hurry. Bottom right, some Hydralisks already making their way, sorry, drones already making their way. Hydralisks morphing into lurkers out to the right. Looks like the Valkyrie was able to push the Mutalisks back. They didn't take a lot of damage, though, from the initial volley. So we got 1 Valkyrie out. This also gives forward wind to Crossie to maybe either get some Scourge out or make sure he has a larger defense force of lurkers out in the field to work with. And preemptively, it looks like he already has 2 lurkers. He's morphing a sunken colony top right to provide some extra padding here. And Gypsy, this is where I feel like Terran at this stage, if you go Valkyrie, you need to get some value somewhere with those initial Valkyrie to justify the slowdown of the science vessels, which are coming alongside. What it does do is it helps protect a little bit more against those mutalisks. And right now, Crossie thought he was going top right. 2 mutalisks that were sitting there to try to regenerate and just get knocked out. We have 2 lurkers. 2 more about to come online, but there is a bit of a gap. There's a lot of Marines here, but the Valkyries are firing against the Overlords and out of position, not facing the Mutalisks, and one of them gets wiped out. As a result, we do have some Scourge queued up. Nidus Canal looks like it is mostly finished to the top right, so it looks like Crossie is going to be able to procure a 3rd gas without too much trouble, and because this is the low ground in the upper right, it's just kind of a hop, skip, and a jump to go ahead and grab that additional base. The Scourge baiting the Valkyrie, and the Valkyrie sees it. Some Marines trying to stem forward. A little bit of cat and mouse all the way around. The Marines getting wiped out in their small numbers. A Re-88 researching the background. Another something colony getting dropped. And Gypsy, I think, recognizing that he wasn't going to get a lot with the Valkyrie overall, and that there are already lurkers and sunken colonies in place, and potentially a 4th gas that he's going to have to contend with, going ahead and dropping that additional command center in the space of this. So, and 4 turrets, man, really respecting that Mutalisk play. And this also might be just like the factor, loses that Valkyrie as well. This also might be a factor of just knowing that Cross is so good with those Mutalisks and just really didn't want to get run over, wanted to make sure he had extra padding to get into the late game. I'm wondering if that was the play as well. In the meantime, tacking on that 6th barracks, and the Medic Marine's going to go ahead and pull out. This is hold position lurker. That was pre-comsatted though by Gypsy. I believe that was pre-comsatted. Yeah, he's spreading around, dropping yet another comsat. Very diligent, but an instant reaction from Crossie to unburrow and pull that back. That was phenomenal reaction. I'm not sure if he was on top of that or not. So we got 5 lurkers and a spore colony as well to try to push that science vessel back or force it to take additional damage. Crossie now going ahead and grabbing that hatchery top right. The Scourge making their way that direction just in case there's a dropship or something along those lines that was trying to sneak in. And it looks like it's going to be that double defense matrix on those fire bats once again to try to clear out those piled up lurkers. And let's see how, man, that just really drops the health rapidly. Sunken colony's gone, lurkers gone, more lurkers making their way through though. Shields are gone. Mutalisks fortunately were here, and honestly, if these Mutalisks were not here, if they were patrolling somewhere out, that would have been game. And Crossie able to defend this, honestly. So it looks like he might have been able to, I think he was able to clear a few drones off gas, which will delay things a little bit. But otherwise, Crossie's able to clear this out with the lurkers he's got. Another Nidus dropping and avoiding catastrophe, and that was magnificent. So great defense from Crossie. But also pretty good pressure here from Gypsy. Gypsy moving right back out in the field. I think he really wanted to stymie that gas a little bit more than he did. He's also grabbing the 6 o'clock location on top of everything else. Science vessel count starting to get healthy. Going to go ahead and tack on that 7th barracks in the space of this. +1 weapons, +1 army. +1 army, +1 armor. Do we have +1 armor? We do have +1 carapace finished for the Zerglings as well, which is going to make them fare pretty well, particularly as Hive Tech is coming online and those defilers are here. So this is a great position now for Cross. He's got his 3rd gas up. The science vessel count was shortened. Looks like he's going to drop an irradiate. Nice split. Nice immediately split. These Mutalisks have already been pretty battered. Ooh, Crossie might be in a spot of trouble here though. Okay, never mind. He's got 4 lurkers underneath us that immediately replenish. I'm presuming they moved from the natural expansion here. So Gypsy's now looking at a longer game where it is very likely going to be a 4-gas surge. Crossie's expecting a drop. As you can see, he's already staging Mutalisks. He just has a complete lack of vision here. So already staging the Mutalisks up to the north to engage that. A few Marines making their way that direction, but mostly it looks like they're just planting between that natural expansion and the main. 1 defiler has been irradiated, but we already have 2 other in place to go ahead and contend with anything. So Crossie can just shell up, wait for that 4th gas. Looks like he's starting to stage to go ahead and grab that right now. But interestingly enough, Gypsy's got a pretty strong economy in the meantime. This is still going to be 4 base versus 4 base. Usually as Zerg, you want to be 1 base ahead of your opponent to stay relevant. And so theoretically, on paper, Gypsy actually is kind of in a comeback scenario. Or in a strong scenario, I should say. Ooh, getting a couple more Mutalisks, and they're the dropship coming in inevitably. But the problem for Crossie, or for, I should say for Gypsy though, this is still 4 gas. And a comfortable 4 gas. Lurkers making their way up, more Marines peeling their way through. As wow, an immense amount of irradiates dropped before the Marines have even staged forward to assault. even a drone wanting to get part of this battle. And another dropship making its way out to the natural expansion. So Gypsy assaulting all over the place. So yeah, the Zerglings are going to be able to clean up that, but in the meantime, Cross has missed this drop the natural expansion straight over the Spore Colony, and that Knight is going to get taken out again. So he's going to have to do it with latent defense forces. Fortunately, he had the 2 Defilers that had made their way out, but these Defilers have been hounded and irradiated very, very successfully by Gypsy. So nice cleanup once again. But Crossie having trouble getting that economy rolling in the space of this, and this is a very healthy endgame worker count here. Plague drop, by the way. I'm wondering if we're going to see, and we have 5 Ultralisks, by the way, getting built in a space of this, which is a scary situation. So 5 Ultralisks in construction. Carapace is not yet upgraded though, so there is kind of a window where Gypsy might be able to whittle them down. That's kind of the problem when you have 4 gas. When your opponent has 4 gas, it's almost inevitable that they are going to be able to get out that way to Ultralisk, and Ultras completely changed the game. Gypsy grabbing another base bottom right on top of this. And we got 2 battle cruisers making their way onto the map as well. Gypsy forcing these Ultralisks out on the field. We already have Darkstorm right there. That's going to push him back. But kind of in a soft contained situation out to the right and a hard contained situation out to the left. Still a healthy science vessel count. There have been the plague that's been dropped on the 2 science vessels here, so they're a single Mutilus shot or a Scourge landing away from death, and more drop ships fielding out. So not only has he been using the irradiates, and the thing is honestly the amount of irradiates that have been dropped in Crossie's face, I would presume there is more. Finding the battle cruisers and able to plague them on entry. I don't know that there's anything else to deal with them here. I don't see, are there Scourge? No, it's just Zerglings. I don't see Hydralisks or anything else. And that's going to shield a drop that's also spraying across the bottom left. In the meantime, a drone making its way bottom left and discovering that base going up. Some Zerglings trying to get across. And the Marines are actually going to do better than they would usually do against these Ultras. You can see that Ultras take an absolute pounding because the Carapace upgrade is not kicked in, which will actually be very, very helpful. If you can have weakened Ultras out in the field, that's great. In the meantime, Darkstorm dropped over the mineral line to try to protect the drones right there. But these battle cruisers basically working like an irradiate, and you have more attacks dropping forward. We have another drop going out to the natural expansion. It looks like there's a forced lift bottom right. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but they're a hatchery attempting to get built there. Some Zerglings trying to, I guess the Zerglings were there, trying to stream the 6 o'clock location to go for some sort of relief of pressure here. The Ultras look like they've been able to clean up something top left, but the battle cruisers still there, and the Scourge are getting one shot, by the way, by these battle cruisers because they don't have that +1 Carapace upgrade, and so not able to clean that up. So Crossie has been dropped, and another drop here in the upper right hand corner. It looks like we have some Ultras running out in the field. Gypsy drawing back actually. So he's got a drop here top right. He's got another drop here, now taking the drones out there, contending with the Ultralisks making their way across the field. He's already had the 2 bunkers to absorb that there. So the drop going to be able to clear out that Nidus Canal. It's cleared out the economy there to the right. It looks like finally things were cleared at Crossie's natural expansion, but Crossie's economy with all of these drops and being everywhere at once has been decimated. Ultras, I think, got irradiated and died in open field. And we still have a battle cruiser with 19 kills now. And as I say that, tacking yet another one for 20 unbelievable kills in the top left. So Gypsy's everywhere on this map. His main is mined out, but it really doesn't make a difference. And his natural might be gone in a minute, but he's still going to have 3 bases to work with. And and it looks like he's already making his way out to saturate bottom right. Another drop. Looks like it was making its way top right. Crossie able to respond to that. But right now, Crossie's big problem is he's at a very anemic 31 workers. He still isn't mining gas at his main, so he's effectively kind of kneecapped at 3 gas. Gypsy's everywhere as well. More medic marines, a huge double the supply right now of Crossie. More battle cruisers making their way out. That's going to help that dropship as well. Unfortunately, it looks like those battle cruisers were on attack move, so they're not going to be joint up with that assault. I think that battle cruiser, I saw a blip of red and it was finally wiped out by that Spore Colony, but Scourge land on this dropship, but not before a lot of troops have already been scattered out here. A Defiler looks like it's about to get caught with an Ultralisk mid-map, and that spawning pool looks like it's also potentially going to get taken out in the main. So Crossie finding no breathing room in the space of this. More battle cruisers making their way out, which is honestly, if it can chip away at these Ultralisks while they just sit and run around and peck away at the Defilers as well, it's even better than an Irradiate here. A few Zerglings eking out to the 6 o'clock, finding nothing. Gypsy checking the 12 o'clock to make sure his opponent hasn't been able to procure that. And we still, okay, we have a Nidus, it looks like in the top right main. This is the primary mining base now, it looks like, for Cross. Defiler sitting back there, at least able to get a plague off here in the background, but the spawning pool's gone. Ultralisk Cavern's still up, but Cross doesn't have enough resources to just build pure Ultralisk right here. And the battle cruiser's continuing to create some chaos. We have another bunker bottom right here for Gypsy. We have factories going up as well, just in case. Another command center to drop. He's playing this like a Zerg right now and finding more beautiful irradiates, not only killing some Zerglings, but also wiping out the Ultralisks that are sitting there latently out in the field. Scourge too late to stop the dropship, and they're not even going to land a hit right there. So the main's still shut down, and with that, Cross going to call GG. It was just overwhelming on all fronts. A masterclass versus Zerg right there by Gypsy. Great play. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.